-1, -2, -3. Okay, welcome everybody. It was a bit shorter coffee break than usual, but I hope it was still fulfilling. And now we're gonna start with the second block of today. Welcome. As another kind of introduction, on the first day we already approved the code and minute checkers, but there is another code checker who has arrived. It is Hussein, I think. Aha. Hussein, run faster. So the guy sprinting along the edge is Hussein, and he is also going to be a code and minute checker. So we proposed and voted for these people on the first day, but for regulations purpose, we actually also have to vote on him. So can you please, keep standing up, close your eyes, and if you approve Hussein as code and minute checker, put your thumbs up. Otherwise, put your thumbs down. 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes. And congratulations, Hussein, you are approved. Also, can we get a microphone to him for a second? State your name, international team, and your favorite PA future. PA future.
I'm Hussein from IT department. Macumba Aero.
Okay. Cool. Okay, one quick announcement before we get started. As you notice, sometimes there are some people not in the plenary, sometimes that is for good reasons, sometimes for not good reasons. But especially for delegates in the first row, and actually also for the third row, please do not take the seats from other people, because first of all, that makes it very hard for microphone carriers and to get the questions right. And also, as one of the responsibilities of the board is actually to track which LBGs are present on the general meetings. This also stops us from noticing who is actually not attending the different sessions. And that is the regulations which we have to follow. If you're changing seats halfway through, then you stop us from achieving that. So please keep that in mind. The first content block for this session is going to be the board and financial commission's outcomes. So we have the summary presentations of all these different commissions yesterday, and I guess we will ask the presenters to the center now. So we should have 5 people in total. Come get a mic.
Thank you.
For the commission slides, I suppose most of the content will be on the slides on the presentation itself, so please try to keep it relatively short. Thank you. Take it away.
Okay, hello everybody. I am Timmy from RPG Cluj, and I was in the first commission of the analyzing the board annual report. What happened? Okay, it doesn't work. What? Okay. So after analyzing the report, we realized that the board did really hard work, and they were very focused on their actions. But we think that the number of sorry. So we think that the number of goals per year should be decreased to make them easier to achieve. Um, and they should divide the work between other bodies to not overload themselves. So in this way, there will not be so many downscaled or delayed actions. And also, the future work should be more transparent in the communication and decision making. Moreover, we think that another way to include local people, to give input and to get more internationally involved, would be great because, for example, the LTSP mailing list, it's really useful, but LBGs don't really know about it. They are not aware, so maybe it should be promoted in another way. Okay, and the statement would be that the board is working very hard during the year, and they put a lot of effort. We can see this, but they should decrease the number of the goals so they can be reached easier and not postponed, downscaled, or cut. Yeah, that.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. We will have a clarification from Melita from the board.
Um, Melita from the board, just a small clarification. You said LTSP mailing list. Did you refer to LTAB? Actually?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you.
Okay, then I think it's, if there are no other statements or questions, it is time for the second commission.
Hello guys, I'm Liberato from Porto. I'm presenting the outcomes from Commission 2 about the AR. Okay, the good points. The work that has been done with the LTAB, the mailing list, clear framework from ABEC, the intention to contact new universities. This was a little not successful, but the intention from the board was good. So thumbs up for that. Improvement to LBG's involvement. The improvement points evaluate our internal communication methods to how LGs communicate, find new approach to contacting universities. Here we said maybe LBGs from the same country or the same city could contact universities that could have a new LBG. Add bodies involved for each goal of the AAR, make the goals smart, and use other NGOs' experience, for example, knowledge management, KM, just to know what they do and how we can improve in these points. The statement is the board did a good job and had a great transparency, but they can be more open to the outside perspective and improve delivering info to the LBGs.
1, 2, 3. Any questions, comments, statements? If not, then we proceed to Commission 3.
Okay, everyone, so I'm going to present you the outcomes of the third commission about the annual action report from the board. Nope, that was not the one. Next one, yeah. So about the good points, it's clear that it was clear to us that the matrix structure that was decided to be implemented last GA in Tallinn, the work was done with great efficiency. It was very clear, and they do not appear to have had much problems about it. We also noted that the AAP that was conceived with the help of the department coordinators, and it was also very efficient because the goals of the year are much clearer, and it's easier to reach the goals when you actually work with people that know what they are talking about. Concerning the improvement points, we didn't have much to say except one thing, which was that we noted that a lot of actions were cut or delayed, and so maybe an improvement could be done on the planning of the year concerning which tasks should be done when and how long should they take. We know it's hard to do, but if we're talking about improvement points, this is one we pointed out. And concerning the statement, well, the board has done a great job during this year, according to us, and it's very clear in their annual action report. There is a lot of information concerning what has been done, how it was done, with whom, how did it unfold, how did it develop. But sometimes it's even a little too much information. That's all for me. Thank you.
One, two, three. Clarifications, questions, statements? No, then Commission 4.
Vicente from Delft. I was in Commission 4 for the Board Annual Action Report. So first, good points. We saw that the board really pushed themselves towards reaching the goals and actually to actually fulfill the action plan. There was a lot of work towards that. They really did a good job in improving the work of Best in general, and also we really like the thing that new ideas are implemented. So, for example, like the out of plenary sessions that will happen in this year. And our main improvement point was also regarding the creation of the action plan. There were a lot of cuts and downscale, and that could have been avoided by doing a more realistic goal setting or splitting the goals into some more small, so then that actions can actually be achieved. And as a final statement, so in general, the board did an amazing job, but in order to successfully solve all the goals board um, set for themselves, they need to be realistic in the beginning of the mandate while doing the goal setting. Thank you.
One, two, three. I see no signs in the air, which means we go to Commission 5.
Oh, hello everyone, I'm Victor from LBG Kiev. I was on the commission on annual financial report and I'm going to represent the outcomes. So we discussed about the good points, and the presentation of outflows and inflows for the budget is clear, and it's a good point. Also, it's a clear financial strategy. It's a good readable document itself, and the explanation of terms is also good. And we also have some improvement points of it. So we must put more effort in applying for grants because they are more stable than fundraising. And we must investigate how to reduce the damage caused by the addition of value-added tax. Present and discuss the problem that happened before GM, before the making of the report. For example, the summer APF issue and things like that. We should explain more of the numbers in the report, and comparison with different years should be in the report itself, not in the annex documents. And the statement for the whole financial report is that it's clear and useful, but still has some improvement points.
One, two, three. I can see a clarification from Nagia. Can we have the microphone? Thank you.
Okay, Nadia from the board. I just want to make a clarification about the value-added tax, this perceived damage. It is not something that we can do because it is completely aligned with the value-added tax declaration from the Belgian Ministry of Finances, so it is not our work there.
Thank you. If there are no more comments or questions on this fifth commission, then I'm briefly going to open the floor to if you have general questions about the commissions or statements. We have one from Extra Gabor. Can we get a microphone, please?
Extra Gabor. First, I would like to thank for the presentations, and I would like to ask all of you, like, what was the Commission's opinion about the bigger picture? Are we going to the right direction right now? Oops.
Okay, so I'm gonna answer for just my group, obviously. We did not point out any difficulties that we would see ahead of the path we are taking right now. Um, in my group, it was we didn't talk about it, but it was like tacit agreement that we were going into the right direction. Matrix structure had been well implemented, and I think we can agree so far it has turned out well. For the first year, it's been put into application, so nothing else to point out from my side. Do you guys want to elaborate?
Yeah, I believe as the commissions were mostly focused on the work of the board and the financial report this year, the question of is BES heading in the right direction might be also better asked in the LTSP session, which I believe is scheduled for tomorrow. So I think you're half a day ahead of the curve on that one. But thank you. Um, Anything else? If not, well, commissions are actually a fairly recent concept in BEST. I think it's only for about 3 or 4 GMs that we've really been having these concepts. Before that, it was always these massive questions and answer rounds about the entire work of the board in like 20 minutes. And now you as LBGs have the chance to give quite in-depth feedback in small groups, and this is, I think, very cool from your perspective, but it's also going to help this board in the next month, but more importantly, the next boards a lot in knowing what LBGs actually like the board to focus on and all the rest of it. So I'm happy you took the advantage of that opportunity, and there's more commissions like this coming. So thank you for your energy there and for the presenters and minute takers. The next session is going to be about the RAI proposals, the regulations on admission and exclusion. As I think there are in total 9 proposals on various RAI topics. We're only going to have about half of them in this presentation, and then are going to have another block later on. So Florian, you can take the floor.
All right. So since we don't have unlimited time, we're going to try to be a bit faster for this one. So in general, for all the RAI proposals, it requires a majority of 2/3 of the votes in order to be approved. And in general, about this presentation, all of them will be kind of in clusters, except for the first one. So I will present one proposal. You can ask questions, and then it will be always 2 proposals, questions, 2 proposals, questions, and so on, in order to speed it up. There is also a number in the bottom corner there, so if you have a question, please mark down the slide number. It will make it a lot easier. Okay, so the first proposal that we will start with is proposal P25, the proposal to require a letter of recognition from LBGs every 2 years. So right now in the statutes, we have a phrasing that says that the only representative of a university or equivalent in BEST is its LBGs. So basically what we understand from this is that every LBG basically needs to be recognized by their university. And actually keeping LBG that is not recognized is against our statutes. And so generally they should not be allowed to be a LBG anymore if they're not recognized. Can we move on? Okay, so the issue right now is that there's actually no real way of how we can check that the LBGs are actually recognized by the universities. And In case they're not recognized, there's not even a defined procedure for how to deal with them. So, okay, so what we propose is to kind of introduce a check every 2 years that LBGs will need to submit a letter of recognition. This would have to include basically a statement from the university that they kind of support your group to remain as the best group and that they like recognize you. So the idea would be that there would be a deadline on the 31st of December every 2 years. If you submit it, everything is fine. If you don't submit it, there will be a proposal for exclusion on the upcoming General Assembly. In case that one is rejected, of course, nothing happens, you remain full. There can always be exceptions. However, if it's approved, there can be a to relegate your group to observer. In case that one is rejected, you're excluded from the organization. If it's approved, the LPG becomes a new observer group. And in general, if you get relegated to an observer group, you have to follow the same procedure as all the other um, observer groups, except that there is one additional requirement in order to run for baby membership, and that is that you have to present this letter of recognition. Any questions on this proposal?
1, 2, 3. So let's start taking questions. First one is from LBG Krakow, and then Prague.
Okay, hi, Krzysztof from Krakow. Why exactly 2 years? Did you consider some longer periods or, for example, transition state for the LPGs that cannot provide this letter? And I'm asking this because, for example, in most of European universities, authorities change for like 4 or 5 years. So this can be a reason for not providing the support letter.
Yes, thank you for the question. In general, if you would wait for 5 years, you could basically go 3, 4 years with having an LBG in our organization that is actually not even recognized. So we're basically going to break our statutes for several years. And having it shorter I think it's going to cause a lot of problems, like bureaucratic problems. However, 2 years should be enough, we believe, for everyone to actually be able to get this letter from their university.
Okay, thanks.
Next question from Prague, and then other microphone to Athens.
Yes, Prague. I would like to ask from whom should it be signed? Because in our university we have right now big issues with our rector, and like the deans are representatives only of faculties. So we are trying to like contact the rector, but he doesn't answer, he doesn't reply, and it's like for half a year. So what in case we wouldn't be we able to catch him? But the university recognizes us. Like we're talking to all the deans, and no problem. But the rector has some issues, like with bribes, so they want to like take him down, but he doesn't want to.
Okay, thank you for the question. Right now, the current phrasing is the rector or vice rector for studies or equivalent. The main purpose behind it is that it should be someone who has the authority to do it on behalf of the university and not on the faculty, because in the regulations and the statutes it says that the university is like, or the best group is a representative of the university and not of the faculty. So yeah. So it doesn't have to be the rector, but someone who has the authority on their behalf.
Okay, thank you, Prague. Now Athens, and then is that a 2 fingers from Leuven? Okay, Leuven has a 2 fingers.
Hello, Hannah from Leuven. We have the same problem with contacting the rector, so we're planning on writing a counter proposal for this proposal.
Okay. Is that a... Oh, Avi from the board has a clarification.
Happy from the board, once again, it's not necessarily the rector, it can be any person in the university that represents the whole university. For example, if in your university the dean has the power to represent the whole university, then this can also be a person. But this depends from university to university. This is why in the proposal it says or equivalent. So any person who can speak from the whole university.
Okay. Then we will have LBG Athens and then Niche.
Okay, LBG Athens, it's somehow connected to the discussion before. Like some universities might have support but not be able to get a recognition letter. So don't you think proposal for exclusion is maybe too much, and we can like first try to work it out somehow, like at least for a year, and then look at exclusion?
Okay, in general, if basically it's still a proposal, so it's up to the LPGs to decide if there are reasons for why you could not provide it, and yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. Two fingers from Athens.
Okay. Lucia Athens. From what I understood, if the proposal doesn't get accepted, they remain full, right?
Yes.
So they won't have like any consequences, like having to go on term monitoring or something.
No, they just need to submit a new letter of recognition in the next 2-year period, but in general 2 years should be enough, I think.
Thank you.
Get that.
That's a two finger from Budapest.
Thank you, Balázs from Budapest. And as you saw, like there were many thumbs up on this comment, and I feel like the reason behind it is that LBGs maybe feel it a little bit offensive, like to immediately propose them for exclusion. What do you think about this?
Thank you for your question. In that case, I would like to ask LPGs what they think about having an LPG in our organization that actually is not recognized by their university.
Okay, then we will have next question from Nish and then Abji Brashov.
Hi, this is Rachnia from LPG Niche, and my question is, we will have, for example, a group that, there is a new observers group, and in order to become baby members, they have to give this letter of recognition from the university. But is there a case, what will happen in the case that they don't? Will there be an automatic proposal for exclusion in some time, or have you considered something like that?
You mean for baby members?
No, for new observer members.
That case. Observer groups, generally when they apply, they need to provide a support letter from the university. Yeah, but basically right now there's no checks or anything for LPGs once they become members.
Now Brashov and then Abji Moscow.
Silvio from LBG Brasov. I will ask you about criteria. Why 31 of December?
Okay, in general, there can be no proposals for exclusion on a president's meeting. So there has to be an extraordinary voting, and this can only happen on GA. So that's why this should happen a few months before GA. And then, yeah, that's basically the reasoning behind.
LBG Moscow and then Tallinn.
Hello, Alexander from LBG Moscow, and my question is, can you elaborate a little bit on the background of the problem? Because it seems that the problem existed since our regulations on admissions and exclusions exist, so it did not cause any problems before, or there were some problems and you decided to change it somehow? Like, did you have any precedents on this?
Okay, we know about one case in our organization, but we have no clue about any of the other LPGs, and in general we find it important that the LPGs are actually recognized, because in the end when we go to our stakeholders we say that we have LPGs at 94 different universities, and if then 10 or 20 of them are not even recognized, then it's also a bit shitty.
Thank you, Moscow. Now, we have two fingers from RA. Can you get the microphone, please? No, you can say Tallinn.
Okay, not being vinculated to a university also means that you're not compiling with one of our stakeholders. And if you're not contributing to one of our stakeholders, it means that you're also not fulfilling one of your responsibilities.
Next question from LG Tallinn, then Brussels.
Richard Allen, Maryland. We have a question like, what is proposal is going to give to the LPGs, because right now it's like only the international level, but what LPGs can, it just seems like more work for us.
Louder.
Please repeat the question, but louder.
What this proposal is going to give to the or regulation for the LPGs, because it seems like more work to the LPGs and everything.
Okay, in general, LPGs are already required to inform the university authorities about all the work that they're doing. And in general, asking for just a letter of recognition from them should not be too much extra work if you're actually already in contact with the university. So, yeah.
We have one LPG or one question from Brussels. Brussels, by the way, did you have two one fingers or? Okay.
Hi, Peter from LBG Brussels, and I think I'm going to go in against the popular opinion, but after they do not are not able to supply the letter, they get voted by the plenary, basically. But do you think the plenary should have the power to still accept an LBG and actually go in against the statutes? Because I think maybe that would be too much power for the plenary.
Well, the members of our organization are all the LPGs. It's not the regulations or anything that should say who is the member, but the LPGs. So I think the plenary is actually the only entity that can take this decision. And there might be some exceptional cases. In case there is no university recognition, then the LPGs should ideally not vote for keeping them, but it's basically up to the LPGs and everyone in this plenary.
We have been discussing on this topic for 10 minutes. I still have fingers from Madrid, ECA, Budapest, St. Petersburg, Porto, Extra Gabor, Brno, Prague, Extra Carolina, and Brussels and Delft. However, I would first like to ask LBGs if they need much more information to make a vote, because it would be nice if we can clear all these problems out in the plenary itself, but we still have a lot of other proposals. So I'd like you to ask if you would like to continue with this question rounds to do thumbs up, if you think you have enough information to vote on the proposal, and you have heard enough, vote no. So yes if you want to continue, no if you want to end the round here. Only first row delegates, please. So I think that's still a mixed signal, so we will keep taking fingers. Next one from Madrid, and then, yeah, okay, we had still two fingers from Brasov and then Uppsala.
Silvio from Brasov. And what if the plenary votes against the exclusion of the LPG? What happens after that?
They remain a full member.
Okay.
Uppsala, still have your two finger.
Fergus from LBG Uppsala. Regarding the comment of Brussels, the plenary is the highest decision-making body of BEST, so I think it's appropriate that it's the plenary that decides upon those cases. And also, OBGs are not members of the organization, so it's by definition, they're not part of the organization, so I think it's appropriate that they're relegated to observer status. I think the problem here is that there is very low membership mobility, so we have a contradiction of members that are full, that are less healthy than new groups that join the organization. And I think this proposal goes in this direction, and also in the direction of the health of the LBG actually reflecting their membership status.
Thank you, Uppsala. We have two fingers from Brussels. Are you sure it's on still the same topic? Okay, go ahead.
Hello, Peter from LBG Brussels. I also want to clarify that I'm totally for the members voting. The point is, I think, according to law, even the members cannot go in against statutes. If I'm wrong here, then my point is not valid, but I think we are not able to vote against statutes, which we are doing at that point.
Just as a small clarification regarding this, so there might be some exceptions where an LPG actually has the recognition, but was, for whatever reason, was not able to provide this letter of recognition, and in that case, it's still up to the plenary. However, as you said, like if they really don't have the recognition, then it's going against the statutes, and LPGs should vote for the exclusion.
Okay, next question will be from LBG Madrid, and then Budapest.
Hello, Alejandro from LBG Madrid.
We think this proposal is not very specific because, as far as we understand, right now we could ask for 5 letters of recognitions from our rector and then provide them in 10 years, in 10 different years. So we think it should be clearly specified in this proposal and maybe is changed slightly so that it is clear.
Okay, thank you. In case you want to specify something, I encourage you also to make amendments to the proposal.
Yes, thank you for the statement. Now Budapest, then St. Petersburg.
Yeah, Balázs from Budapest again, and I would like to so the goal of this whole proposal is to give you some tools or some regulations to ensure that we contribute to the university stakeholders, right? Am I right at this point, right?
Yes, and to make sure that we're actually not
Yeah.
breaking our statutes.
Yeah, but as you said earlier, in the project's future plans, that you also want to implement or plan to implement the health indicators into these regulations to ensure basically the same thing, but with many more many more other metrics. And I feel like, this is a LBG opinion, that we feel like the health indicators could fit to this task much better than this like formal thing as just a recognition letter.
Okay, I can basically reiterate on my answer from yesterday. So basically, we have this one thing that LPGs need to do right now in the statutes, and we can check it. And now now we have this proposal to make this check possible, and the health indicators is about something completely new. So if you would just have the health indicators version, then you would still basically rely on the same thing as before. Like there's no real check. You just ask the LPGs, and if they say that they have the university recognition, you would need to believe it, which is kind of what it is right now. So in that case, they are actually different.
We have two fingers from Extra Daria. She's behind you. Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to reply to Budapest about that. This is a statement. I think this is completely different things, the health indicators and the recognition, because one stands for how healthy and sustainable BG is, and you cannot get the same from the connection with the university, because it does not necessarily means that you are performable LBG. It could be just a paper. It could mean nothing. So it's completely different things.
We will take a question from St. Petersburg.
Martin, St. Petersburg, so it will be more the statement. So here we have like 95 LPGs and they're really big diversity. And I want to say about our situation. So a few years ago, we have really big problems with university, and they set out for us like requirement. So officially, we should be like named in a Russian language, a bit different from the best. So that was a kind of problem, and we solved it. Still, we have visual identity. We are making promotion with best and so other stuff, and we have really good support for university. From yesterday year, we have like.
Please keep the comment a bit shorter.
Yeah. So the thing is that we just couldn't have this right now, this letter, because we have name on Russian, and for us it will be impossible. And I think every LBG could have this situation. So I'm talking not about ours right now, but also a bit other LBGs who could be in this situation. Please think about it. So yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you, St. Petersburg. I'm seeing a few three fingers in the plenary already, so I'll repeat my question. If you would like to continue with questions about this, thumbs up. If you have heard enough to make a decision on this proposal, thumbs down. I would also like to remind you that we're going already, let's say, 11, 12 minutes over time with this, and there is still a lot of content in the day. So thumbs up, continue, thumbs down, we finish the session. Okay, I think that's now a clear decision to keep the discussion on this proposal here. Thank you, Florian. 1, 2, 3. Because there are more proposals.
Okay, I can
coming.
continue?
Yes, you can proceed with the others.
So next proposal, now we will have two proposals and then a question round afterwards. So the first one is the proposal to update the limit on the number of observer groups the best can accept, P26. So in general, in BEST, we have a kind of continuous application for OBGs. It's twice a year, on the 1st of July and 1st of December. The formula for how we calculate how many observer groups we can accept, like it basically follows a formula, and then it's up to the board, the international board, to decide which observer groups to accept. So the current formula takes the minimum of two different numbers. So the first number is the floor of 15% of the full member LBGs minus the groups that are under nursing, and the other number is the number of available nurses as reported in the LBG reports. So the minimum number of these is the maximum number of OBGs we can accept at any point. And however, the issue is that nurses are actually not really regulated anymore, so it doesn't really make sense to have them in the regulations anymore. And secondly, there's actually no lower limit. So right now it could be that after GA we realize that we can't actually accept any new observer groups to the next deadline. So we've basically been telling everyone in the world that, okay, apply for BEST, and then suddenly 1 or 2 months before the deadline, we say that, okay, sorry, we're not going to accept anyone this year, which is quite bad. So the proposed change is to remove the phrase about the nursings and also to introduce a lower limit. So in general, the new formula would be something like this. So instead, we would take a maximum. So the first number would be the same, the floor of 15% of the full member LBGs, minus the groups under nursing, and 1. So there would be always at least one OBG that we could accept. Okay, for the next proposal, P27, it's the proposal to add having an English website to the responsibilities of LBGs in the internal regulations. So this has actually been regulated since GA Warsaw in 2010. However, it was never added to any of the official documents, so not in IRE, not in RAE. And in general, you need some things on your public website in English. That's basically a description of what BEST is. You need a link to the public BEST website and contact information of your LBG. And the issues, yeah, I already told you, it's not really written in any of the documents. So our suggestion is simply to add it to the internal regulations. So any questions on those two proposals?
Thank you, Florian. 1, 2, 3. Any questions on P26 and P27? We have one question from Rome TV.
Hi, I'm Francisco from Rome. Okay, Francisco again from Rome TV. I would like to know what happens if an LBG fails to have an English part on their website, and when that is going to be checked. Thank you.
Okay, in general, if your LBG doesn't have it, we basically poke you and tell you, fix this please. And if you don't fix it, there is usually a proposal for suspension. However, I don't think that has really happened in any of the past years.
Thank you, Rome TV. Any other questions?
And yeah, just to clarify, this is actually already a responsibility, so technically we should be doing the same already.
I see these proposals seem quite a bit clearer. So going once, going twice. Okay, thank you, Florian. 1, 2, 3. I believe your job is still not finished because you still have some other RAI proposals. So proceed.
Okay, awesome. So the next proposal is P34, the proposal to clarify the procedure of what happens when a BEST group wants to upgrade their membership status, but does not fulfill the criteria for doing so. So right now there are always OBGs, baby members, or suspended members that basically want to upgrade their membership status. And our regulations, they basically define what happens if the voting is positive or if the proposals are rejected. However, it does not say anything about, it doesn't explicitly say anything about what should happen if an LBG actually does not even fulfill the requirements for becoming or for upgrading the membership status. So this proposal is actually quite simple. We'll just add a clarification in the regulations that if the vote is negative or whatever member does not fulfill the requirements for doing so, then this consequence happens. And in general, it's no change in how it has been handled. However, we want to add it as to be explicit what it means. The next proposal, P35, is the proposal to make the description of the doctor coherent in the internal regulations and regulations on admission and exclusion. So right now there are a few different descriptions of what the doctor should do in IR and RAI. And the general thing is like it's not coherent, and there is also some references of doctors and where we call them or where we name them mentors, which can create some confusion with the mentors from Vivaldi. So the proposed change here is to basically make these descriptions of a doctor coherent, and also to remove the name of mentors and simply call them doctors in everywhere. So any questions on these two proposals?
1, 2, 3. Any questions on these? Okay, going once and going twice, so that seems complete. Well, having a well-oiled regulation system is very important, and the RAI regulations are what all LBGs ultimately have to comply to. So it makes sense that you're interested in these proposals, and that there's also some that this also brings up emotions and different cases of all LBGs. But nonetheless, I think it's good that this is being worked on and that we were able to discuss it in the plenary. So thank you, Florian, for all the proposals. Now the next set of presentations will be EBEC final travel reimbursements, which is going to be presented by Elias. So please take the floor.
Okay, yeah, it seems that it's sounding. So I would like Ibek team to come to the mattress, and I was requested NRRs who are present to come here to the mattress. So please, NRR coordinators that are here and Ibek team to the mattress. Nelson. Okay. So I'll try to keep it short. This is proposal number 29. So you can open your binders by that, and you have all the information there. Um, so I will not really focus on the background of the proposal. You can read there, but if you want more information, you can approach to me. I'll try to go straight. So the current travel reimbursement policy is for a given participant, 50% of the total amount of the trip, up to 100 euros. So there you have an example. It's a little bit, might be a little tricky for you. For a trip of 120 euros, you get the 50% of it, so it's 60 euros that got reimbursed. For a trip of, for example, 240 euros, you could get 100 euros reimbursed, because even like 50% of the total amount is it's 120. It would be at most up to 100. So currently, who pays for this? Right now, in this moment, the travel reimbursements for the participants of the final round is paid by the LBD hosting the final round. This sorry. Okay. Yeah, this system makes the LBG to allocate up to 12,000 euros, which is like a huge amount of money, and this is one of the reasons why we have a problem with the financial stability of the final round feedback. Okay. And also, yeah, I forgot to mention, some universities, some LBGs have deals with the universities, so the universities pay for the trips of the participants to the final round. Okay, it works. Issues of this system. Yeah, as I mentioned, 12,000 euros. are a huge amount for a single LBG, and I guess you all can understand this. It takes around 20 and 25% of the whole budget of eBay Final, and with this current status, the university corporation has no incentive. There is no incentive for an LBG to try to get a deal with the university because yeah, they don't see any profit of the corporation. What is the proposed change? For a given participant, same amount as system before, so it would be 50% of the total amount of the trip, up to 100 euros. Uh, who pays for that? This is a big change. So we would split the amount of the money overall. 50% would be paid by the LBG hosting the final round of eBay. So it's like now, and instead of make it 12,000 euros, it would be 6,000 euros. And the other 50% would be paid now by the LBG hosting the given national or regional round. So it means that for a given national or regional round, it would be 400 euros, up to 400. Sorry, yeah. However, we had this discussion. We made a survey before, and we were considering different options to be like the LBGs sending a participant, national regional rounds. We came in the proposal. We came to the conclusion that it would be better to be the LBG who is hosting the national regional round. However, we encourage, and we know that it's currently happening, that you split the expenses of a national or regional round among LBGs. So you could still do the same, but the responsibility would fall into the LBG hosting the round. The aims of the new system is to make the final round of feedback more sustainable financially. The LBs would be now encouraged to cooperate with universities because, like, for an LBG, if you share expenses among the national regional rounds, it would be like you have to pay 400 euros, let's say. So now you would be encouraged to get rid of this money that you have to pay. And if an LBG finds a cooperation with a university, both the sending LBG and the final round host would not have to pay this amount of money. To be approved, this proposal, it has to have the positive vote of half of the plenary plus one, the full members. And this is all. Yeah. Questions?
One, two, three. Thank you, Elias. We will be taking questions now. So I see the first question is from the back from CFS, and then next to it, Extra Daria.
Hi, so Zenon from the CFES. It's more of a statement, not a question, but I guess just to give you some perspective. For Canadian engineering competition, so typically it's a couple schools from each region that go, right? So they always cover all the travel themselves. They would never, the CEC does not pay for anybody to come to CEC. It's only the schools themselves that pay for them to come. Or we actually had one small school last year that had to use like crowdfunding, GoFundMe, to pay for them to come to CEC. No, because their school couldn't pay. So.
Around, you should know that you can face because of it. You can have this cooperation among LPGs, but you would be responsible. So after the event, there is this stamping procedure. It's not really defined yet, and it's really related to the proposal number 30. But this stamping procedure to recognize as a successful event wouldn't be accepted as a successful event if you're not able to pay for the refunds.
Thank you, Daria. Then we will have LBG Istanbul, and then Coimbra. Istanbul, do you have two one fingers or just one?
Two one fingers. Okay, the first one is that the 200 euro is not the same burden as to every LBGs. Don't you think that we can do something?
So we are trying. This is the first time it would happen. So we try to make it simple for the first year, and maybe for the next year we can try to improve adding this kind of features.
Thank you, Istanbul. Coimbra and then Barcelona.
Fialho from Coimbra. I don't want to repeat that much what Izmir said because Istanbul said because it was going to be my opinion to state the unfairness of this system and also that the regions have a different number of LBGs. So if they decide to divide the money for each LBG or not, it's up to each NRR. And again, if you're going to say that this amount of money for for an NRR that is richer than the other, it's totally unfair. So I think in order for this proposal to go forward, it needs to state that part first.
Thank you, Khania. Elias, if you want to respond, you can.
Okay. I think it was more of a statement, but yeah, I guess that you can throw some friendly amendments if you want, taking this point. You can approach to me and we can discuss more about it.
And that was LG Coimbra, not Khania. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Next question, Barcelona and then Izmir.
Laurie from LBG Barcelona. Regarding what Coimbra said, in my opinion, if we don't set if it's going to be split in every LBG or it's going to be paid by the host in the region, it's going to be more difficult to train a host if this splitting is not going to happen. At least in Spain, it's really difficult to find a host for eBay, and this is going to.
But with Brno, Prague, Košice, Bratislava, Budapest, we could make up a really good solution. Like every LBG can contribute how much they can. So even if it's hard, it's possible.
Thank you, Extra Gabor. We also have two fingers from Nagia from the board.
Nadia from the board, I would also like to mention that, for example, if for your national and regional rounds you think that this amount could be unfair, please consider how the final round of VBEC, the hosting LBT, could be unfair with 20 or 25% of the final budget of the event to be covered by themselves only.
Thank you, Nagia. Then the next one finger is from Izmir, and after that, Thessaloniki.
Semiha from Izmir. My question is, some of the LBG may obligate to leave the IBEC pyramid because of the financial state if this proposal accepted. So how can you find a way out?
So your question was that this may make some LBGs to abandon the pyramid of IBIC?
Yes.
And how we tackle it, right? Okay. In our opinion, this would not harm really hard the way the LBGs would have to leave the pyramid, in the way that what we are trying to make is to split the financial effort of eBay equally between LBGs, like between the different levels. Sorry. And we think that if taking into consideration, this is about numbers, but taking into consideration that the amount of per LBG would be between 50 and 100 euros if we split it all equally. We don't think that 100 euros is a risk we can take. Like, this is if they have to pay 12,000 euros. So we believe that it's better.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Thank you, Elias. Try to keep the points slightly shorter. We will have Thessaloniki and then competitions department.
Hello, Jason Elvis Thessaloniki. First of all, thumbs up to tackle this issue this year. Then I have a question. There is this opinion that this policy actually creates sort of an annual fee for LBGs to join the big pyramid. What would you respond to that?
So you said to make an annual fee for LBGs for eBay?
Yeah, because this policy actually means that each LBG will have to give like this NRR thing, will give money. So this money means like a fee.
Okay, it's not like a fee. We wanted to make it flexible, so NRRs can deal with themselves. What is the better option to them? If the best option is like to make some kind of fee, it's perfect. If the best option is every year the LBG takes care of the whole expenses for the NRRs and they don't share, up to the LBG if they want to make it a fee or not. to the room. Sorry.
Clarification?
Small clarification. I meant a fee in quotes because right now you can host an LR and that's it. It's okay. Right now, if you with this policy to host an LR, then you have to give this money for the travel reimbursement. So this is like a fee to join the pyramid. That's what I meant. If it's not clear, we'll do it later.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, thank you, Thessaloniki. Now, competitions department, and then Porto.
Narcissa Competitions Department, I have a statement. I think that we should also take in consideration the other proposal, NR for the season rule. I think that they can go together, kind of. So also think about it and make your decision after that presentation.
Thank you, competitions department. First, Porto. No?
Okay, Ruben from Porto. You talked in the presentation that LBG's sending participants to ABAC final don't have a motivation to search for support from the faculty and this would change that. What would be the motivation for the LBGs on the region that are not sending participants to the final? Because they don't have that much of a selling point to the faculty since they are not their participants, they are simply participants from the region.
Okay, the point of the motivation was that right now, imagine Porto sends a team for the big final, and we encourage you to get a collaboration with the uni, so Brno pays less in their final round. Now, if you have to pay some part of the money, you will have you will be encouraged to get some collaboration.
Okay, thank you. I see quite some three fingers. So there are a few LBGs on the list. As some of them are previous hosts, and actually one is current host of EBAC Final, I would like to give the word to them for a second, and then I will ask to move on with the rest of the session. So first, Brno, and then LBG Istanbul.
Hello, Samuel from LBG Brno. I would just like to say that even though this might seem like a complication or like this proposal complicates things or whatever, I would like to just say a statement. The worst thing is that the situation stays the same. Because really, 12,000 euros is a huge amount of money. That's a quarter of the entire budget of the entire event. That's the cost of the entire, that's the cost of the entire accommodation, for example. So paying this huge amount of money just for this stupid thing, as travel reimbursement is very sad. Invest this money into making the event much, much better. So the worst thing that can happen is that nothing changes. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruno. I think that's very useful. And now, as well, LBG Istanbul.
Hi, Hazal from Istanbul. I just want to point out something. Not every LBG has the same financial system. For example, we don't work with cash usually, and the participant that we sent to EBAC final was covered by our university or us. So it's easier for us to do it like that, and it will be, for example, for us, would be really hard to do it with cash. So just want to point out, not every LBG has the same system.
Okay. And a two-finger from the board, as well as a clarification. So clarification first.
Naive from the board, because this is a bit bureaucratical and how, as you said, like how LBT has its own financial system. However, it can be both in cash and it can be with bank transfer to the hosting LBT, so that the hosting LBT, for example, can facilitate all the transactions afterwards. Like we have a pool of money and that's going to be like allocated for its participant accordingly. I don't think that the financial, let's say, system of each LBT would be the problem on that matter.
Also saw a clarification or two fingers from Zurita, so let's pass the microphone.
Surita from the board. For the LBGs that cannot do a transfer, there's always the option to have the university pay in for the trip directly. This is actually what we are trying to potentiate, because if you talk with your universities and they sponsor your teams, then there's no need to have any transfer to anybody. There's no need final has to pay just the local university that's sending the team, pays for the team, and everybody is happy. That's what we are trying to look for.
All right, another two fingers from Cluj-Napoca, and then from Athens.
Okay, Timmy from Cluj-Napoca. My one finger is now a reply, okay? So regarding what Zuri said, it's like we were discussing about having a kind of booklet, like a 4-page booklet for LBGs, and you can use them for universities, and I think I got Porto's question, like so. The thing was that if you send the LBG, right? But you are not hosting NRR, then why would the others pay for your no? Because for me it's like, okay, you send the participants from your LBG, but yeah, if you can take this amount of money from the university, then of course NRRs won't have to pay for it. So it's up to you in the region how you deal with this.
Athens, do you still have your two fingers? If not, I will give the microphone to Porto. For two fingers.
Ruben from Porto. My question was regarding, imagine Porto is sending a team to final. What's the motivation for instance, other LG, Almada, Lisbon, whatever, to seek the support from the faculty? And what's their selling point? Because they are not sending participants from their faculty to the final.
Okay, we have. Okay, I already said that I would first ask if we would still continue here. So, LBGs, if you would like to continue with this discussion and questions, put your thumbs up. If you have heard enough to make a proposal or to decide on the proposal and discussion, do thumbs down. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, most of them are down, so we will proceed with the rest of the block. As I see, there were still some fingers on the list. I will just say them. They were Madrid, Krakow, Lisbon, Zagreb, Athens, Madrid again, Belgrade, and Porto. Many of these LBGs are also, and well, Lisbon cut one of them. Many of these LBGs are very involved in EBEC. Some of them were previous EBEC final organizers, etc. So I think it would be very useful to still go hear what they have to say about this topic. Yeah, as you heard, EBEC Final is a very difficult event for best to organize. Nevertheless, it is also one of the most prestigious and largest engineering competitions in Europe. So it is very worth figuring out how we actually do this sustainably. And as you can see, it is hard sometimes to align with 90 plus LBGs on this topic, but we are trying, and with the proposals results, we will see the result. Thank you very much, EBEC. And after the EBEC picture, that was all the actual presentation content or plenary content for this block. After this, we're going to go to commissions again, but this time it's going to be the commissions for the department AS that you heard yesterday. So there were 5 departments presenting already. Those commissions are coming now, and it will last 45 minutes. And after that, until 3, you will have lunchtime. So I would first like to ask Oscar, do you have any announcements? I see CRD has one finger, perhaps an announcement we can pass, or probably for commissions.
Okay, just quickly. Extra delegates invited and other people that are not GA delegates from the LPGs should not attend the commissions. If you really want, just approach me and we will work it out. Second of all, when you choose the people that are going to present, please deliver the presentations until tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha. AV also has.
F from the board, Dobre from BCD, please bring your money to me ASAP.
All right.
Matrix t-shirt.
Cool. So I hope the instructions were clear. Okay, one more announcement from Veronica. Please pass the announcements next time to Oscar. That makes it a lot more efficient before lunch.
For that. Extra Veronica. Yesterday in the commissions for the board there weren't many people who had the binders with them, like the reports, so it's quite good to have the reports with you during the commissions. So take them with you.
Thank you, Veronica. So it is now pretty much 1. So for 45 minutes, you will have the department commissions, and after that, we will all meet back here at 3. The plenary is closed.
Okay, Florian, I really need your money.